Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are bringing you an important update that affects thousands of pensioners across the United Kingdom, and it is not news that anyone wanted to hear. HM Revenue and Customs, commonly known as HMRC, has confirmed the enforcement of a new £300 repayment rule for winter fuel payments, meaning that a significant number of older citizens who have relied on this support for years may see it taken away or reclaimed through the tax system. This announcement comes at a time when electricity and gas prices are still high, inflation continues to impact the cost of living, and temperatures are steadily dropping, creating a perfect storm of financial pressure for vulnerable households. The winter fuel payment has long been a cornerstone of support for older people in the UK, designed to help those of state pension age cover the cost of heating their homes during the colder months, providing a much-needed buffer against the rising cost of utilities. This year, however, the situation is changing dramatically. The new £300 repayment rule will mean that even pensioners who meet the basic age and residency requirements may find themselves losing the benefit entirely or having to repay the money through their tax contributions. This change is part of a broader reform of eligibility guidelines aimed at directing government resources toward those who need it most, but for many middle-income pensioners, it represents a serious financial hit at a time when budgeting is already stretched thin. To understand what this means in practical terms, it's important to break down how HMRC plans to recover the payments, who will be affected, and what alternative support may still be available. According to the official announcement, all eligible pensioners will initially receive their winter fuel payment as usual, which ranges between £100 and £300 depending on circumstances, but a particular group of individuals will have these payments recovered through one of two main channels, either via the pay-as-you-earn, or PAYE system if they are on regular employment income or pensions, or through self-assessment tax returns for those who file annually. For pensioners who fall under the PAYE system, HMRC has confirmed that tax codes will be adjusted for the 2026-2027 financial year, and the repayment will be deducted gradually each month starting from April 2026 until the full amount is recovered, which could stretch over several months depending on individual circumstances. Those who file self-assessment tax returns online will see the winter fuel payment automatically included in their 2025-2026 return, which must be submitted by 31 January 2027, while paper filers must manually add the payment to their return, with the deadline falling on 31 October 2026. In essence, this means that affected pensioners will temporarily receive money they may not be able to keep in the long term, creating a situation where careful financial planning will be more important than ever. The critical factor determining whether a pensioner will have to repay the winter fuel payment is income. Individuals whose annual taxable income exceeds £35,000 are now considered ineligible to retain the benefit. Taxable income is broadly defined and includes pensions, earnings from employment, interest earned on savings accounts, and certain taxable state benefits, meaning that many people who would otherwise assume they qualify could find themselves unexpectedly over the limit. In addition to income thresholds, certain care home residents will no longer be eligible for the payment. Specifically, those who have lived in a care home since 23 June 2025 or earlier and who receive means-tested benefits such as pension credit, universal credit, income support, income-based job seekers allowance, or income-related employment and support allowance will also see their winter fuel payments revoked. This is a significant shift in policy, as it affects groups who historically would have been considered among the most vulnerable, and it underscores the importance of checking eligibility carefully this year. The government maintains that the rationale for the £300 repayment rule is to better target public funds and ensure that support is directed toward those most in need rather than higher-income pensioners, who may theoretically be able to manage their energy costs without additional assistance. However, critics argue that a £35,000 income threshold does not necessarily reflect disposable income or the actual financial pressures that many older citizens face, given rising housing costs, medical expenses, and everyday living costs, and that this policy could leave many middle-income pensioners struggling to make ends meet during winter. For those affected, there are a few practical steps to consider. Firstly, it is essential to review your income carefully and determine whether it exceeds the threshold, and if it does, to consider options such as tax planning or consulting a financial advisor to explore ways to manage taxable income without breaking the law. For some, it may even be worthwhile to opt out of the winter fuel payment altogether to avoid the frustration of having to repay the funds later, although this is a decision that requires careful consideration based on individual circumstances. Despite the setback, there are still other avenues of financial assistance available to help cover heating and electricity costs. The British Gas Energy Trust, for example, offers grants of up to £2,000 to eligible households struggling with their energy bills, and it is important to note that this support is not limited to British Gas customers. Anyone facing energy poverty may apply. Local councils and community charities also run winter-specific support programs, providing emergency funding, vouchers, or direct assistance to ensure that vulnerable households can keep their homes heated safely. It is crucial to explore these options early, as demand tends to increase rapidly as the colder months arrive. While the new repayment rule may make the winter fuel payment less reliable for some, being proactive about alternative support can help alleviate the financial pressure significantly. The impact of this rule also highlights the broader challenges faced by older people in the UK in the current economic climate. With inflation continuing to affect essential goods, energy prices remaining high, and wages failing to keep pace for many, the cost of living crisis is particularly acute for pensioners who rely on fixed incomes. Programs like the winter fuel payment have historically played an important role in mitigating this pressure, and losing or repaying these funds may require careful budgeting, prioritization, and early engagement with charities or local assistance programs. Awareness and planning are more critical than ever, and pensioners should make sure to check their eligibility, understand the repayment process, and apply for any additional support they may qualify for as soon as possible. Although this winter presents significant challenges, there are still steps individuals can take to ensure they remain safe and warm, including applying for grants, accessing charitable support, and seeking advice on managing energy costs efficiently. Being informed about government programs, tax obligations, and alternative funding options will allow pensioners to navigate the changing landscape with more confidence, ensuring that they can maintain comfort and security in their homes during the cold season. This development also underscores the importance of discussing financial planning openly with family members or caregivers, as understanding how these repayments will affect household budgets is essential for avoiding unexpected shortfalls or financial stress. Staying ahead of these changes can make a substantial difference in managing household expenses and ensuring that no one is left without heat or essential services during winter. In conclusion, HMRC's new £300 repayment rule represents a significant policy change with direct consequences for thousands of pensioners across the UK. While the move is intended to focus support on those most in need, it will undoubtedly create challenges for middle-income households and certain care home residents who were previously entitled to the winter fuel payment. However, by understanding the rules, checking income levels, exploring options to manage repayments, and seeking alternative financial support from charities and local programs, affected individuals can still take meaningful steps to safeguard their well-being during the winter months. It is a reminder that while government support programs may shift, awareness, preparation, and proactive engagement with available resources are the best tools for navigating these changes successfully. If you found this information useful, please like this video, share it with anyone who might be affected, leave your comments below about how this change could impact you or your loved ones, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more news updates, practical financial guidance, and tips to help you stay informed and prepared during times of change. Stay warm, stay alert, and thank you for watching.